Shalom, shalom. I hope everybody's having a great morning or a great evening so far, great afternoon. I hope that you gave the Most High Yahuwah thanks this morning. Thank Him for where you at, where you currently going to be at, what He's done in the past, what He's currently doing. Thank Him for everything. Don't worry about asking Him for what you need because He already knows what you need when you come to Him in prayer. So just give Him thanks for the day. I don't think I got really anything to talk about right now. I just want to get straight into the scriptures. Let's not waste no time. We stopped off at Matthew 13, I believe. So now we're on 14. And we're going to read 2 chapters today. Oh yeah, disclaimer too. I just remembered. Don't take anything that I say as factual. Always do your own research and do your own seeking. You can't live off my faith. You got to build your own faith. So just, if you listen to what I'm saying, the words that I'm saying, like, have your Bible out, read along with me, and take it back to the Father in prayer, anything that I'm saying, and pray about it, and seek your own faith and stuff like that. You can't live off another man's faith. Same thing with me. I can't listen to anybody just because they sound good. I always got to take it back to the Father. I got to do my due diligence to study it myself and stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? So this is just me reading to y'all and telling y'all my interpretation or my idea or perspective of what I think it is. You feel what I'm saying? You don't got to take it for face value and do your own due diligence. So we on chapter 14 of Matthew, verse 1. The death of John the Baptist. That's the title of chapter 14. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Jesus and said unto his servants, This is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do shew forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John, and bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. For John said unto him, It is not lawful for thee to have her. And when he had put him to death, he feared the multitude, because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughters of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask, and she being before instructed of her mother, said, Give me here John the Baptist's head and a charger. And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at the meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison, and his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. And his disciples came and took up the body and buried it, and went and told Jesus. When Jesus heard of it, he departed thence by a ship into a desert place apart. And when the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. And Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude, and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. And when it was even, his disciples came to him, saying, This is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitudes away, that they may go into the villages and buy themselves victuals. But Jesus said unto them, They need not depart. Give ye them to eat. And they say unto him, We have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He said, Bring them hither to me. And commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and took the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes. And looking up to the heaven, he blessed and brake, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did all eat and were filled. And they took up the fragments that remained, 12 baskets full. And they that had eaten were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship, and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the even was come, he was there alone, but the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. And the disciples saw him walking on the sea, and they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. This is a good part. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried, saying, Lord, save me. So let's stop right there. That's a very good part for people in the faith. So basically, Peter asked Jesus to tell him to come here, to bid him to come here, because he knew that Jesus had to command it for it to happen. So when he did it, when he started to walk on the water and stuff like that, at first he had faith because he seen Jesus. But as the time, from him walking to Jesus and stuff like that, he started to get afraid because of the winds and stuff like that, because he's not used to walking on water and things like that. So he got afraid and thought that it was a setup or so. Like, he had the faith in the beginning, but then it started wavering. And that's just a testament to you have to have faith throughout any storm or trial or tribulation, no matter what. No matter if you can see the end of it, or you might have things happening to you that you are afraid of, or it's not comfortable, and it might be giving you anxious thoughts and stuff like that. But you just gotta have trust and faith in Jesus, because you can't get to the Father without going through Jesus. So you just gotta have trust and faith. That faith will take you far in life, period. And I just use that in any life aspect. You feel what I'm saying? No matter how hard it looks, or how difficult it may be, or how uncomfortable it might get, the fact that you have faith and confidence in the one that you believe in is enough to get you through any obstacle, if that makes any sense to people. So he began to sink, and he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? When you have faith, you're not supposed to doubt. Any room of doubt will mess up the whole faith. It's the same thing with the verse, and I'm just paraphrasing. It says, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. You feel what I'm saying? It's the same, it's the same thing. In essence, it's the same thing. Is if you have even a little bit of doubt, your whole faith is void. So when you have faith, you need to have faith as bold as a lion, and knowing that whatever you have faith in is going to come through, and it's going to work out for you, no matter what. And when they were coming to the ship, the wind ceased. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth thou art the Son of God. So they worshiped Jesus because he was the Son of God. But when they were gone over, they came into the land of Gennesaret. And when the men of that place had knowledge of him, I don't know if I was saying that city right, I meant that land right, but I think that's how you pronounce it, Gennesaret. And when the men of that place had knowledge of him, they sent out into all that country round about, and brought unto him all that were diseased, and besought him that they might only touch the hem of his garment, and as many as touched were made perfectly whole. And it's not because they touched his garment, but it was the fact that they had faith. That's what it was more so about, is the fact that they had faith. If they touched his garment, they was going to become whole. So that's what happened for them. They had faith that if they touched the garment of Jesus, then they would be healed. And that's what happened. They had faith, they touched it, and then they was healed of their sickness and became whole, made perfectly whole. Only through Christ can you become whole. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? And let me stop there really quickly, just to go back to what I was saying. It's like when Samson thought that his power lied in his hair inside of his locks, but his power was really coming from God. You feel what I'm saying? People be giving a credit and the power to like a hem, a garment, or hair, locks, whatever the case may be, but it's all the power of God. No matter how you spin it, it's the power of God. That's where the power comes from. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees which were at Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the I'm over here messing up that word, tradition of the elders? I'm over here messing up tradition. Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat the bread. So this is an important key fact and stuff like that, because the Pharisees and the scribes, they were doing traditions of men. They wasn't doing what God commanded them. They started making up their own traditions and things like that. So they got pissed off when they didn't see other men, the disciples of Jesus, doing the tradition of the elders. For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? So they're in transgression of the commandment of God because they're doing it of their own tradition. God didn't command them to do that. For God commanded, saying, right here, it say, for God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, It is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of non-effect by your tradition. So it says made of non-effect by their tradition. This wasn't God's tradition. This is their tradition. And it still happens in this day and age with the churches and stuff like that. They got traditions of men. God never commanded these people to do certain things that they're doing. They do this because it was passed down through men, not through God. Ye hypocrites, well did Esaias prophesy of you, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Stop there. Let's talk about that. A lot of men or women or people in the faith, they say, oh, I put God first, or I love Jesus, da-da-da-da-da-da. They be honoring him with their lips, you feel what I'm saying? But their actions don't match up with their lips. Their lips are saying one thing, but their actions are saying another thing. So don't be one of those people who say, oh, God first, or, oh, I love Jesus Christ, whatever the case may be, and you're not following what he says to do. You're doing what you want to do. And you trying to just camouflage it under, oh, I'm doing the best that I can, or this is what God commanded me to do. No, he didn't. You can clearly read the Bible and find out what was commanded and what you need to do. Don't just honor him with your lips and say stuff. Actually commit and do the things that he tells you to do. That's how you honor him, by doing what he says do, being obedient. Like I said, it's a lot of people who's not obedient. It's a lot of people who just be using Jesus or this faith or God, whatever the case may be, is just to get attention or get fame and recognition and stuff like that. They don't really worship God. They don't really adhere to his commandments. But their heart is far away from me. But in vain they do worship me. In vain they do worship me. I hope that y'all keying on that. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men, not of God, but of men. And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand not that which goeth into the mouth, defileth. Let me start that over. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, It's hard to read this KJV sometimes, this old English. I wish I could just read this in normal English sometimes, but I kind of like the KJV at the same time. So we're just going to rock out. Not that which goeth in the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. So not what you put inside your body is more so that defiles you. It's more so about what's in your heart. That's the bigger issue. That's what's going to really defile you. What's coming out your heart, because that's what a lot of men are going to follow, is after their heart. The heart is deceitful. And I'm just paraphrasing, but there's a verse in the Bible that says the heart is deceitful. Who can know the heart? You feel what I'm saying? And if anybody can find that verse for me, that would be nice. But I'm just paraphrasing because I don't got that verse on hand with me. But yeah, it says that in the Bible. Just look that up. It says that the heart is deceitful. Who can know it? Then came his disciples and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. So every plant that a man planted of his own selfish gain or ambition will be rooted up. It's like the tares and stuff like that. God is going to root them up, and he's going to get rid of those things that which was not planted by him. Let them alone, that they be blind leaders of the blind. If the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. So let the blind lead the blind. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Declare unto us this parable. And Jesus said, Are ye also yet without understanding? Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever enter in the mouth goeth into the belly, and it cast out into the draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and he defile the man. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornication, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defile not a man. Because that's a tradition of men. But the bigger issue is what comes out of your heart. Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast, cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. And she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. So basically, Jesus was saying that he only came for the lost sheep of Israel. That's who he was supposed to. That it's the Jews, the people that were Jews. He came for them first, and then it goes out to the Gentiles. But he came for the lost sheep of Israel first. So that's what he was telling her. But she had greater faith, so that's why it made her whole, because she had great faith. So he just allowed her daughter to be healed because of that faith. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. And Jesus departed thence and came nigh into the sea of Galilee, and went up into a mountain and sat down there. And a great multitudes came unto him, having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, cast them down at Jesus' feet. And he healed them, insomuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb to speak, the maimed to be whole, the lame to walk, and the blind to see. And they glorified the God of Israel. Then Jesus called his disciples unto him and said, I have compassion on the multitude, because they continue with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat, and I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. And the disciples said unto him, Whence should we have so much bread in the wilderness as to fill so great a multitude. And Jesus saith unto them, How many loaves have ye? And they said, 7, and a few little fishes. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves and the fishes, and gave thanks and brake them, and gave to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did all eat and were filled. And they took up the broken meat that was left, 7 baskets full. And they that did eat were 4,000 men, besides women and children. And he sent away the multitude, and took ship, and came into the coast of Magdala. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. And then I'm gonna stop there. I feel like that was a good point to stop at. I feel like we've been getting some good reading in, some good understanding, and good wisdom. This is why I like the Gospels. I like Matthew, because Jesus' words are very important. Because like I said, you can't get to the Father without going through Jesus. And Jesus, like I said, he was living a righteous lifestyle. He showed us how we should live the correct way. He was the only atonement that could be made, because he was perfect. He was a perfect sacrifice to atone for the sins of all the people. So that's how we should live. That's how we should strive to live. If we take anything from Matthew, take Jesus' words. Everything else, like, that's cool and all that, but really focus and key on Jesus' word, which is the red letters. I'll show you. You see all them red letters? Those are Jesus' words. So focus and key on those words, and really meditate and pray on these things, because you might not be revealed what's going on in these scriptures at first, but if you continue to seek after God and really pray and really study for yourself, and really get into that secret place with God, and take your time, not rush them, be patient, be long-suffering, be the same characteristics as the Most High God, Yahuwah, through his Son, Jesus Christ, then you'll start to gain the wisdom and understanding, and you'll start to learn more and more, and gain more wisdom and understanding. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. I ain't really got too much to say. I got a lot of stuff on my mind, but everything's going to be all right. I woke up this morning, so that's the only good thing that I can think of. So I ain't going to complain. Everything's good. So with that being said, everybody have a beautiful day. Shalom, shalom. And until next time.